Hey there, Mechaniacs! So as promised, I am making more videos. I will be making more and more videos describing the myriad benefits of taking a cold shower every day. In this video, I'm going to talk about the heat shock proteins, go into more detail on the heat shock proteins and why taking daily cold showers can have a dramatic impact on your heat shock proteins, and also why this is so very important. Now, I am very aware that the man has done everything in his power and will continue to do everything in his power to keep the fear inside of you, to keep you from doing what you know you need to do to take care of your health, and that is taking these daily cold showers. This is something that you can do that will have a dramatic impact on your health. Now, don't just take my word for it. Research it and then do it and experience it for yourself. There are myriad benefits to doing this. There is one downside that we're aware of, and that one downside is that it is very uncomfortable. But guess what? Discomfort is also the very reason why it is so effective. Discomfort is why it is so effective. So, I'm asking you to step outside of your comfort zone. Do what so many of us have already done. Step outside of your comfort zone because you know it is good for you. You know it in your heart that is good for you. It's simply a matter of taking that step, all right? Take the step and do it because it is good for you. And my objective in these videos is to help you to understand that this is good for you in so many ways. Remember, there are myriad benefits, and I will cover each one in as much detail as I can. I want you to join us. I want you to join this movement. Whenever the man talks about healthcare, what he's really talking about is sick care. So what each of us must get involved in is actual healthcare. And taking cold showers on a daily basis is just one of those major things that you can do for your own personal health care. How many diseases could be neutralized if all of us would just make it a habit of doing daily health care? Think about that. Just because Alzheimer's happens doesn't mean it has to happen, does it? All right, guys, without further ado, let's get right to it. Okay, let's start with this. Everything that happens in your body, from blinking your eyes, to speaking, to digesting, to walking, to sweating, to everything that happens, it boils down to proteins changing shape, changing from one folded position to another folded position. It's as simple as that. There are millions of proteins inside each and every cell in your body. And you've got trillions of cells in your body, anywhere from 37 to 50 trillion cells inside the average human body. Think about how many proteins that is. That's a lot of proteins. And proteins do all the work, okay? So we start with that knowledge. Make sure you've got that. And proteins are made up of long strings of amino acids. There are approximately 20 amino acids which are used to make all proteins. Now, those strings are like beads on a necklace, and you fold that necklace up. The precise order of the amino acids determines the complicated shape of the protein, and also the order of the amino acids can determine what the protein can do as well. Now, a protein remains in a particular shape until a molecule of something comes along to trigger that protein. It can be a molecule of adrenaline or estrogen or testosterone. It can be anything, literally. And when that thing attaches to the protein, it causes the protein to change shape. And that causes a cascade of proteins changing shape, which results in digestion. It results in burning of fat. It results in any of a number of things that your body does inside all of the cells. It's pretty cool, isn't it? And the key to all of this is how the protein is folded. So there are two things. There's the folded protein, and then there's a signal that comes to that protein. Any of a number of things that can stimulate that protein to change shape, okay? Got that in our minds? So here's the other thing. Proteins very often are misfolded. Proteins fold up not quite the way they need to or the way they should. This can happen for any of a number of reasons. Number one, it's very crowded inside of a cell. As I said, there are millions of proteins inside each cell. Okay, if a protein misfolds, that protein can become absolutely useless. It can't serve the function it's supposed to serve. Moreover, that protein can also become dangerous because misfolded proteins can attach to other misfolded proteins and start to glom up together. When this happens, it can cause cell death. So to avoid this kind of thing happening, we have what are called protein chaperones. Chaperones, just like their adult counterparts, they're designed to keep proteins from inappropriately mingling with each other. And that's what chaperones do. So if a protein is misfolded, the chaperone then helps to unfold that protein and then fold it back the way it's supposed to be folded so that the protein is then functional. Chaperones can also prevent proteins from misfolding in the first place. It was first discovered that cells produce large amounts of these chaperone proteins when the cell is exposed to high but non-lethal levels of heat. Therefore, they were called heat shock proteins. However, it's since been discovered that heat shock proteins are also created in the cell when the body is exposed to cold as well. So you can produce heat shock proteins when you're exposed to high levels of heat, really high levels of heat, or when you're exposed to cold. Therefore, taking cold showers produces heat shock proteins in abundance, especially if you do this on a daily basis. It is known that many of the most common diseases are the result of proteins misfolding. So for Alzheimer's, for example, proteins in the brain misfold and begin to clump together, and these proteins then cause the neurons to die. And this results directly in the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. For Parkinson's disease, proteins in the area of the brain called the substantia nigra begin to misfold, and when these proteins misfold, they also begin to clump together, and they cause the death of the cells in the substantia nigra, and these cells produce dopamine. When these cells die, you cannot produce dopamine from the substantia nigra, and this results in the symptoms of Parkinson's. So now here's my question for you. If these diseases are the result of proteins misfolding, number one, and number two, if chaperones, in other words, heat shock proteins in our bodies help to prevent proteins from misfolding and also help to unfold and refold proteins properly. And if, number three, taking cold showers results in the proliferation of heat shock proteins, then the conclusion is, altogether, taking cold showers can help your body to either delay or prevent the onset of these diseases which result from proteins misfolding. Do you get my drift? Well, don't just take my word for it. How about we ask the pharmaceutical companies? If the pharmaceutical companies are getting behind this, there must be something to it, right? Well, that's because there is something to it. The pharmaceutical companies are working on something called pharmacological chaperones, or pharmacoperones. And what are pharmacoperones? Pharmacoperones are chaperones that you introduce to your body exogenously, which perform the function of the chaperones you already have in your body. We need more chaperones. We need more heat shock proteins. So you can either get them through pharmacoperones, or you can get them through cold showers. You can pay whatever amount of money it will cost to get your own supply of pharmacoperones, or you can pay the time and the extreme discomfort that it will take to produce your own extra supply of heat shock proteins. One of the two probably has some pretty nasty side effects. I'm not sure which one that would be. One of the two will probably cost a lot of money. I'm not sure which one that would be. One of the two you would have to get with a prescription. I'm not sure which one that would be. And one of the two you would take only after you find out you have a disease of some type. Now, the other one I'm imploring you to take on a daily basis. So taking cold showers on a daily basis will stimulate the proliferation of heat shock proteins, which are the chaperones that your body needs to keep your proteins folding correctly. And if it is true that misfolded proteins are the etiology of many of these common diseases, if this is true, then it would make sense that your body needs more of the protein chaperones, heat shock proteins, something for you to chew on as you're taking your cold shower. All right, guys. So next up, I'll probably make the next video about cancer. Again, there's a lot of research on how to fight cancer. I wonder if there is a way to invest in preventing cancer. Let you think about what that answer might be. Otherwise, I'll see you the next time. Thank you, guys. I'm glad that you watched this video. I'm glad you watched it to the end. I hope it was valuable to you and has prompted you or inspired you to take cold showers on a daily basis. Well, McCaniacs, we have reached the end of yet another video. Thank you for watching the entire video. And if you found it educational and entertaining, please do hit the like button and the subscribe button. Let's spread this message. Send this link to anyone that you believe can be helped by the information. Further, you can join us in our daily prehab course by going to this website. And you can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook by going to these places right here. All right, guys, I've had a great time, and I will see you next time. Until next time, thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting me. Kung Fu salute. Right fist, left palm, bring them together, and bow. Thank you very much.